just the initials of her first and last name. So IS. I mean, I will call her Iyana here because we know. But her sister, I don't know her name. She is 1 year younger than Iyana. And she's just listed as SS. So this will be the sister's name, and Ayana's mother is Margie. Where her father was, it's not clear to me if he was an active participant in her life, but thinking about it now, I really don't think so. So we can just assume that she is being raised in a single parent household. However, Ayana has a lot of family and family support. Good amount of aunts and cousins. Okay, let's just start out on the morning of December 19th, and the year is 2018. Okay, so at this time, she is 16 years old, and her younger sister is 15. And they also have a couple younger siblings as well, but there's this big age gap, right? So on December 19th, she went to school. This started out as just any other day. There were no red flags, nothing was amiss, and Iyana, she lives in Jacksonville, Florida, and is attending Terry Parker High School. Now, so the thing is, because her and her sister are really, really close in age, people thought that they were twins. They did everything together. They went everywhere together, even school. So they would take the school bus to go to school and leave school together. And they were so, so close. They were really cute. They planned out their futures together. They already knew what they wanted to study in university. They wanted to either be a lawyer or a doctor, and they were going to go to the same university, live in the same she was taught by her mom to be very close to her siblings, no sibling rivalry in that house, because the mom grew up the same way. The mom had a couple sisters, and she was just always very close to her own immediate family. And Iyana was just this way with her siblings. With the youngest ones especially, she would teach them how to read, how to write, help them out with their math homework. And like I said earlier, her and Sarah were best friends. People thought that they were twins. At school, she excelled. She would get straight A's. She was a crossing guard. She was a top performer in school. She played the violin as her instrument of choice. And she was also on the step team, which is very similar to cheerleading in a way. She really believed that she could do anything that she put her mind towards. This was a very, very bright girl with an incredibly bright future and a family unit behind her. She was someone who liked to joke a lot and liked to play pranks on her siblings. There was this one day when she was in the kitchen and she called out like she needed help for something to her younger brother, and her younger brother hears his big sister calling him, and he comes running into the kitchen full speed, and he falls and slips because there's a bunch of dish soap on the ground, and Iyana just busts out laughing. She was just so playful and happy and just the sweetest to all of her little cousins. And all of her little cousins and younger siblings just looked up to Iyana. She loved pink. She was really a girly girl. And she loved Victoria's Secret perfumes, lotions, and her family always knew what to get her. Anything pink or from Victoria's Secret. And there was always the biggest smile on her face for birthdays, for Christmas, She was just a really pleasant, sweet girl to be around. Now, there was one thing that Iyana was not sharing with her family, and it was a really, really big secret, one that she was afraid, for their reaction, as any 16-year-old would be. She was pregnant. Eventually, she had to tell her mom, because you can't hide this forever, right? So she told her mom, and happily, even though her mom was a bit disappointed, and clearly, obviously, worried for her daughter and her future, she was like, you know what, we're gonna get through this together. So with the mom and the aunts and the family around, they still showed their support for Iyana, and she was still gonna be in school and have the help of her family to take care of raising that baby, who she named Hazel. She had already given the baby a name. When she went missing, it just set off red flags. And one thing about her pregnancy is that obviously it's who's the dad, right? Who's the dad? And she just gave this name, Jose. It's someone named Jose, but they never met Jose, never heard of Jose before. So her family was very curious as to who is this Jose person. Let's go back to when Iyana went missing on that day from school, because after she went missing, it's when everything that Iyana was truly hiding came out. Okay, so at first, Iyana's case was listed as a runaway because they saw her leaving school with 2 bags, and it seemed that she just maybe didn't want to be found. Now, after I believe a day or 2 of her being gone and no news, which was very much out of her personality, they said, okay, we're changing this from a runaway to a missing persons case. This is shady. And so there the mom is freaking out, as any mom would, and she is going through her daughter's room trying to see, did she write something? Is there something that we're missing? So she went on her laptop, got her password somehow, went on her laptop and found this journal. Now, this journal on her laptop mentioned a guy named Jose, which is the Jose that, she told was the father of her child. And in this diary, she talks about the heartbreak that Jose has put her through, how in love she feels with Jose, and just their relationship overall. It just seemed, very kind of toxic, and just not healthy. But she did mention how much she loved this person, and then also how she felt very deeply betrayed by Jose. Now, around the time of her writing this about Jose, Iyana was actually in, I'll put in quotes, a relationship with the neighbor across the street. Now, this neighbor is over 18 years old, and Iyana was about 15, 16 at the time, right? Not yet pregnant. So, this is not legal. And, I believe the mom may have had an idea of what was going on, but she was incredibly disapproving of Iyana seeing this neighbor. I mean, come on. But again, as, someone who has a lot of other kids and working, she couldn't really keep her eye on Iyana like that, the entire time. So Iyana was willingly seeing this other neighbor. So this neighbor's name was, or is, Kamar Humphrey, right? So he, immediately got placed on the registry that says you can't be around kids, pretty much, right? So he became a prime suspect in this case. He had proof to show that he was nowhere near that high school or even in the area when Iyana went missing. And then Iyana's mom gave police this information about this guy named Jose. So, a little later on, Sarah, Iyana's sister, when the mom started asking or mentioning this, who's this Jose person? Why is she writing so much about this Jose person? It's not the neighbor. We need to find Jose. And so the sister was the only one who knew of Jose. And she said, you know what? I have something to tell you. Jose isn't just some kid that goes to the high school. Jose is Uncle John. Jose is our Uncle John. Who the heck is Uncle John? So, Iyana's mom has a sister, and Uncle John is an uncle by marriage. And this is a grown man, with, I think he had 2 kids. And Iyana and he's like, yeah, I heard that she went missing, we love Iyana. If we had any idea of where she was, we would go and bring her butt right back home. He was kind of acting like this loving uncle who cared and was protective. And so the police ask, okay, can we look through your house, just do a routine search to see if we, see anything, And he was more than willing to open up the door right up for them, even offer them food and some juice or something to drink. Basically, like, you're having family over. This guy was super casual, and they told him it seems that there's this journal on Iyana's computer mentioning a guy named Jose, and the sister is saying that you're Jose. So, what's this about? And he's like, I have nothing to do with anything of this nature. I don't know why they're saying that I am Jose. It's just he was clueless, and his wife, Ayana's aunt, was defending her husband because she doesn't suspect any inappropriate anything going on between them, and so John is brought into the police office for questioning. And the reason why is that it was brought to the attention of, I guess, the people working on the case that Iyana actually had undergone an assault kit, we'll say, right? And in that assault kit, there was one man's DNA, which was the neighbor Kamar. But there was another man, an unknown man. And so they ask John, hey, can we take a sample of your DNA? Just, again, routine, just kind of trying to weed out possible people here. And he agrees. And guess whose DNA comes turning right up? Uncle John's. And it was found on a particular article of clothing of Iyana's. And even stranger before this, when the police went to John's house initially, they were asking, okay, well, when she left your house the last time, what did she take with her? Did it seem like she was planning on leaving or going somewhere? And the aunt had said it just seemed she took a bunch of her Victoria's Secret underwear items with her, like a lot of them. And John was like, yeah, she took the whole 33, something like this, the whole 33 pairs of underwear. And why the heck does Uncle John know this? Why the heck does Uncle John know this is the question. So right there, in a way, he kind of gave himself away. And Margie, Ayana's mom, told her kids to immediately block John. She texted her sister and, sent her sister some Snapchat screenshots of a conversation between Iyana and John used as a form of communication because Snapchat just erases your messages, but obviously nothing is really erased forever, so they were able to pull up all of those Snapchat messages, and this is what made Ayana's aunt very uncomfortable and really started to believe Margie about how her daughter may have had an inappropriate relationship with John. So, even when John is being questioned in the police office, he's still keeping this super calm, cool demeanor. And they're like, hey, why is your DNA found on this article of clothing? He's like, that's not mine, that's not mine. And they're like, 100%, it's yours, dude, it's your DNA. And he's like, can't be. And they ask him, is there anything that you would like to tell us? And he says, no. I mean, you're accusing me of this, but I didn't as he loves to yap, yap, yap. So the guy's like, hey, I heard what you're in here for, man. You know, what'd you do to that girl, you know? And John tells everything, the exact same thing that his brother told the police. And about why he did it, he was like, I can't lose my family. I couldn't lose my family, so I had to do this. And he admits to everything. And this is used in court, obviously, as evidence against him. And, it's devastating, but at least the family has answers to know that it was John that was waiting in the school parking lot to pick up Iyana. And she had 2 bags. One bag had her school books and, notebooks, everything for school, and the other bag had all that Victoria's Secret underwear. I don't really know why she had all this underwear in that bag. Like, what was the plan? I don't know what John told her to make her bring all of that. But he basically worked at this kind of trash site, and the trucks would come and pick up the trash or the dumpsters and go take it to this landfill, which is apparently where he put her. And the police spent over $1.5 million over, I think, about a week's time period, digging up, searching through all this trash. I think 80 feet of trash, something crazy like this. And they couldn't find her anywhere, but they did find some clothing items, and they found the school books and some items, but they couldn't find her. And they never found her, actually. But it was really kind of a strange thing, because the sister knew everything. The sister knew of the inappropriate relationship between her and Uncle John. She even witnessed, at times, inappropriate touching, kissing things with Iyana and this Uncle John character. And I think in court, the prosecutor, John's lawyer, was questioning Sarah, Iyana's sister, and she just seemed really, really harsh. And you're talking to a kid, right? And accusatory, and saying, why didn't you say it sooner? Why did you wait for months and months to say something about her relationship with John and the things that you knew that was going on, you know? And I thought that it was really insensitive, because she thought that her sister was coming back, when it hit her that, oh my goodness, my sister is not ever coming back. That's when she spoke, because there's a lot of shame around this, and Uncle John didn't just target Iyana, but he targeted her too. In certain WhatsApp messages, he would threaten Iyana to say, maybe he didn't like something that she did, or he didn't like that she was talking to other boys. Gross. Or the neighbor. Ugh. And, he said, well, I'm gonna hook up with your sister. So gross. And, he even told Iyana, like, I tried to kiss your sister and, do stuff, but she refused, so too bad. And he sent her, like, WhatsApp messages saying something about, I'm gonna hit you later, and I love you so much, but I'm going to unalive you, and cry about it. Like, it was just crazy, crazy stuff. And, this is just really heartbreaking, the situation, and these grown people that she was around, these predators, I would say. And Sarah said on the stand in court that, she remembered walking in and seeing her mom just crying so much, blaming herself over Iyana, and saying what bad parent I have been, and also everybody outside questioning her parenting choices, like, how could you let this happen? And Sarah was like, my mom is a wonderful mom, a great mom, she still is. This kind of stuff, it's not really something that she could have. I mean, obviously, you allow your children to do certain things or whatever, but basically she said it wasn't her mom's fault, and there was just a lot of shame and secrecy was that John knew that at some point it would have come out that that baby was his, and it was just not something that he was willing to deal with the fallout of this, and he took matters into his hands, unfortunately. And you know, rest in peace to this beautiful girl. So sad that she was never found. I think it's incredibly hard. Well, obviously it's heartbreaking for the mom, but to just know that your daughter is out there, probably in a landfill somewhere, is just a nightmare on all levels. I pray for her sister. Her sister is actually engaged. I believe she graduated university, or I think she graduated. And, you know, she's she's engaged to be getting married, and she was just saying she should have been doing all of this with her sister by her side. So sad for the family, but they have the support within themselves. And, I mean, even for John's wife, like, this just goes on so many levels. You know, this sick individual just ruined an entire family. Truly. But I pray for them and for their togetherness through this